Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going over the Taurus Millenium G2. This one's the PT111 Gen 2, obviously. This one has been gaining a lot of attention recently because of its price point. I literally picked this up for $199 shipped not long ago. So we've had it in. We put just over 300 rounds through it at this point. Cleaned it when we got it in, lubricated it, and that's it. So the majority of that has been Minuteman munitions, 115 grain, but we've also shot some wolf through it, as you've probably seen, if you guys have been paying attention to the casings as they come out. Spear, and then we've also put some Hornady XTP rounds through it. So function so far, we've had one, I guess we call it a malfunction. It was a failure to return to battery when I was actually reloading it. I racked the slide back, and it did not go in. I literally smashed the back of the slide, went home. Other than that, it's gone bang every time. So honestly, for the price, I mean, we're talking pretty close to high point money. I've been impressed so far. So we're going to do a little bit more shooting and then get into some of the details of it coming up after this. Did I call it or what? There's the failure to go into battery. So it seems to be good, but that seems to be, on this particular gun anyway, if it's going to have a problem, that's going to be it. This is just going to be a quick accuracy test. We're going to do 3-shot groups at 15 yards. We have a 115 grain full metal jacket Freedom munitions up first, followed by 124 grain Spear Lawman full metal jacket as well. So we may test some match stuff down the road, but this is honestly what I had in my range bag today, so that's what we're going with. Target downrange at 15 yards, if I didn't already say that. And we'll see what we can do with this little guy. That's pretty good. Up next will be the 124 grain Spear Lawman. Let's go check it out. For the gun and ammo combination we're using, I'll take these results. Certainly not too bad. So, for the Minuteman munitions, we're right at 1.5 inches. And actually, pretty much the exact same thing for the Spear Lawman. So, 2 different grains, 2 different loads. Seems to shoot them pretty consistently. So we have a special guest out here today, my wife, Mrs. Guns and Gear. She's going to be trying this one out. And one reason I have her out here is because this gun, being a relatively small gun, a lot of people are going to carry it for concealed carry guys on their body, but a lot of people think, oh, it's small and cute, and I'll get it for my wife, my mother, whatever. She doesn't like small guns. She's got a bias against it, but we're going to have her shoot some shots with it and then give us her impressions. So just rack around in the chamber and put a few downrange.
I'm scared. I get scared of shooting small guns because I always get afraid of the recoil.
Well,
it really wasn't as bad as I thought.
She actually shoots out better than most kids. But what did you think of it? Like, overall impressions?
Honestly, I am shocked. Like, I'm just shocked. I mean, generally I'm never one not to have words. He'll tell you that, but I am shocked that the recoil isn't like most small guns. Actually, like, I was expecting it to just be very. A lot of times in small guns, when I shoot it, my finger starts to hurt. I didn't get that at all, and I don't know if it was because they're a long one and then just slowly letting it out. I don't know really how to describe it, but it's my. I'm really just shocked. Were you expecting that to happen? That I was gonna like
No,
it?
I was expecting you to hate it.
Yeah, but for a smaller gun, I feel like it's the best one I've ever shot. So, shockingly,
That is shocking. All right. Let's get into some of the features, I suppose. It comes with two 12-round magazines. The mags appear to be well constructed, have anti-tilt followers, load pretty easily. They have little finger grooves there. So size-wise, it's sort of an in-between gun. It's not as small as some of your single stack like Shields and Glock 43s, but it's not as large as some other guns out there. We have a Glock 23 here, RTF2. We'll use as a comparison to sort of give you guys an idea, size-wise, how it stacks up there. You can see it is a little bit smaller than that. It's actually pretty similar in size to the M&PC. I don't have one out here, but it is pretty similar overall to that. Now you can see the specs in terms of length and weight and all that stuff in there as well. One thing that this gun has that a lot of the others don't have is that it actually has a external safety. So you can see here on the side of the pistol, you put the safety up, the trigger locks up and is dead, will not work. And then put it down and it'll fire as is. Now let's talk about the trigger itself. The trigger sucks, no doubt about it. That is the huge weakness of this gun in my opinion. Again though, price point, it's not terrible. But basically, you can see here when we take it up, it has just all this play here where absolutely nothing is going on. Zoom in there. There's nothing going on there at all. You can also see it does have that trigger safety in there, so if it's not engaged, it can't break, just like Glock pistols and some others out there have. But once you have this very long take up, it hits a wall, and then at that point, it's very spongy and soft and mushy when it breaks. It breaks right around 6 pounds, at least mine does when I put it on the gauge. But the reset's not bad. The reset's probably the best aspect of the trigger overall. You can see it's pretty short reset. It's positive, it's audible, it's tactile. But you break it again, and you're back to that mushy trigger. So that's that. Other features on it we'll show you here. The sights themselves are adjustable. The rear sight's adjustable for windage and elevation. So you can see that on there. They're 3-dot sights. It has this loaded chamber indicator. It says loaded when up, in case you couldn't figure out what the red meant on there. But the sights aren't bad. They're sort of snag-free sights. There's a slight ledge on them if you want to do one-handed manipulations with it. But that's pretty much it. Frame-wise, we're looking at some very good stippling here, actually. I find it to be very ergonomic, feel good in the hand. It has a similar grip angle to the M&Ps, 1911, stuff like that. So those are certainly positive things going for it. It doesn't feel as nice as like an M&P or a Glock pistol. Now, I know there's some people out there that hate all polymer guns and think they feel chintzy. If that's you, you're really going to think this one feels chintzy. So put a few more rounds through it just to kind of show you what it looks like under recoil. And as you guys saw there, my wife firing it earlier, it's not that bad in terms of recoil impulse. If she can handle it, most folks out there will be able to do so just fine. One note there is that the light rail up front, we tried to put a few different lights on it. The Streamlight TRL1, the Enforce APL, Surefire X300, none of them fit. But the Streamlight TLR3 and 4 will fit. So you're going to need a smaller light if you do want to use it with a weapon light on there. Maintenance on the gun is pretty simple. Again, it's going to be somewhat Glock-like. We're going to drop the magazine, ensure it's unloaded, point in a safe direction, pull the trigger. At that point, you're going to pull back on the slide about 1/8 of an inch. You have these two takedown tabs right here, just like you would on a Glock pistol. Pull those down. It says it comes off without pulling the trigger. This one here, I found that it requires the trigger to be pulled each time. But take it down, and that is your basic field strip pistol. Notice again a lot of similarities to the Glock pistol when you look inside there. We have our striker safety, striker, all that kind of stuff. The extractor looks very similar as well. This one here, however, has a roll pin holding it in place, but so far we've had no issues with that. It seems to be holding up just fine, but that's the basic disassembly of it. Putting it back together is the exact opposite. You'll note there it does have a steel guide rod in there. And we're going to put it back on the rails here and just rack it one time, and it's back together. So, final thoughts on the pistol. Again, we have to put it in perspective what it is. I was fully prepared when I purchased this firearm, is that I would get it in and it would be a terrible gun, and I'd put in the title, Taurus PT111 is a piece of junk, won't work. Everybody would click on it, and that's how it works, because people like to click on videos with malfunctions or problems in the titles. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but running a channel, I can tell you they do. That's not what we got here, though. So far, just under 400 rounds total now, with the end of this video and the sun setting here today. And just those 2 failure to return to batteries is all we've had so far. So, sum it up, trigger sucks. Ergonomics are pretty good. I don't like the thumb safety, but a lot of new shooters, which really in this price point is what the gun's probably marketed to, are going to like that. Relatively reliable, relatively good feature set. The sights are very usable, and the recoil impulse is not bad considering the size and the weight of this gun. That's pretty much it. I guess we could say I've been pleasantly surprised by it. I don't like it. It wouldn't be my go-to gun, but if my budget was $250 for some ammo and a gun to defend my house, you know, if I lived in a bad neighborhood or something like that and just couldn't afford anything better, I'd take a good look at it. It seems to work relatively well. Obviously, you're going to want to get out there and practice with it and not just spend $50 on ammo, but if that's all you got, you know, hey, I mean, there's a lot of people in that situation, and I think it could serve that role relatively well. If you guys have any questions about this gun, anything we didn't talk about here in the video, you can post below in the comment section as always. You can also post over at my Facebook page. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next video.